Hello, folks, and welcome to another series or another episode of Sales Haven Insights. Today we have Brendan Murphy, owner and founder of Ghost Consultancy. Brendan is a specialist in business growth strategies, helping businesses, business owners, and high net worth sales professionals develop out and become better. Brendan, thank you very, very much for joining us. How are we today?
Well, very good, Kenny. How are you?
Yeah, can't complain. I think this is interview number 14, so we're seeing quite a lot of
I didn't know that I was so high up on your list.
timings, Brendan. It was all about timings.
No, okay.
But listen, we're getting through this rightly, and we're getting lots of great information. Me and Brendan have known each other for maybe shy of two to 3 years now.
You're 3 years.
Uh, Again, we met quite a few times, had coffee, and Brendan has always had great insight and knowledge into the sales profession. Um, he's always reading up on new strategies and has been through quite a lot in his career. So it's great to have you on, Brendan, and hopefully we can get a little bit more information and insight into the sales profession, since it's a place where you play quite often.
Yeah,
So,
no problem.
in terms of your business, Brendan, just give us a small breakdown of what you're doing at the minute.
Okay, so I am a business coach and a growth strategist. I work with a lot of businesses from a load of different industries. I suppose the easiest way that I can describe what I do is the one thing all my clients will have in common is they just want to be better. They just want to be better at what they do. There's none of them bad, but they just want to improve. So what I do is I come in at a business owner level and we look at the business as a whole, but we start off from a very kind of a macro level, because a lot of people when they start businesses, they're great engineers and they start an engineering company, or they're great at like they know cars, they're mechanics and they're brilliant with their hands, like, and they start mechanics, but what they're not is they may not have any sales experience, they may not have had any marketing experience, they may not know how the finances of the business works or anything like that, or the ebb and flow of business, and when you're looking after your pipeline and how vital a pipeline is to a business. So I look at it from a very macro and I ask all these questions like, what do you do over here, and why is there a big hole, and like, what happens here? Oh yeah, well, we made a mistake there 10 years ago, so it's got to go through all these series of checks just to get it out. I said, well, why don't we stop these and just put it straight here, like make it more linear, flatten it down a bit, and I help businesses grow and achieve. So what I do is I bring clarity, focus, accountability. I work with my clients one-to-one, and it's not always about their business. Sometimes it's about their relationship with their business and their relationship with the people inside their business. Like, I've had situations where, oh, look, sales and marketing are not talking to each other. Can you find out why and get them to cut themselves on? Because I had one potential client that hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will, turn up and said, I've been telling my company for years that they should be doing what you were just talking about. They were at a talk that again. Would you come up and tell them, because they won't believe me? And I'm like, you own the business. You are the business. Yeah, they won't believe me. They won't. If it's said by somebody else, they'll believe me. Right, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's come out and talk to them and find out exactly, how they feel about their business. There's sometimes there's a big disconnect between the employees in a business and the business owners, where the business owners might think this is what we do, and you might ask employee, what do you do, and they just have a completely different spin on it.
So or they can't tell you exactly what the business does.
Or they can't tell you.
Yeah.
Or they can't tell you. Kenny, like the amount of people that I've met where nearly the first hour is me trying to ascertain why they do their business in the first place. Why do you do what you do? Oh, we build monuments. Yeah, that's what you do. But why monuments? Why did you choose this path? Like, when you could have done anything you wanted. Why engineering? Why, and then when you get out of them what they do. I had one client, I was with him for, it was about an hour. And by the end of it, it turns out that his passion was, I want to give excellent equipment with outstanding service, but at a fair price. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'd like excellent equipment and outstanding service at a fair price. I'm sure if you told all your clients, do you know what? We do excellent equipment with outstanding after-sales service, but at a fair price. I'm sure your clients go, well, I believe in those three. I want to do business with you. As opposed to, you know, we were formed in 1922 and we have been a family business. No, I don't care. I don't care. I have a need for a machine. Can you give it to me? And how much is it? And what's the aftercare service? So it's a lot of what I do is I help people identify exactly what they do. And then we look at ways to market that, ways to grow, ways to tell people. And then we train the salespeople and behind it to say, this is the vision for the business. Do you believe it? Yeah. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that's what we do. Okay, great. Because you do get people going, we provide excellent customer service. And you might talk to the salespeople going, do you? No, we're terrible.
Yeah.
We're really bad at that. I've written a lot of sales training modules, and one of them was on after sales. And I went on to 2 online dictionaries and looked at the definition of after sales, and neither one of them were positive. The example of both was like, that customer or that business really needs to tackle its after sales policy, you know, and and the other one was like, after sales can be seen as really negative if a company doesn't do it, and they're like online dictionaries. And I went for a third one, and the third one was negative, and I said, like, if after sales is seen in a dictionary as being something negative, then we as a series of professionals are doing something fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, it's broken. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's broken, but it's not broken on purpose. I don't think any business wants to treat their customers badly. I don't think there's any salesperson out there really wants to do a terrible job.
Yeah, it essentially comes down to 2 things. One, the business doesn't understand the value of a good sales culture and good after sales, and 2, they've accidentally created a toxic culture within the business that they don't realize that they've created.
Yeah,
That's what I
I
find.
dealt with people before when I was in recruitment, and we were talking about the commission for their salespeople, and the owner says, "I don't want them earning too much commission." And I was like, if he's earning commission or she's earning commission, it's because you've hit your targets. Yeah, but you don't want to be giving them too much money. Like, I was like, that is totally the wrong attitude to have. Like,
Yeah.
You want them to be happy. And like in all my time in recruitment, before I even was in recruitment, I was helping other people grow their business by recruit people that I knew, because I was in the sales industry. So I would have got a call going, you must know a really good sales guy in Carlow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you introduce me to that kind of stuff? And, you're kind of going, you think it's about money, mate. You're the owner of the business. You think all your salespeople care about is money. In my experience in recruitment, that was about number 4 in reasons they were leaving the business.
Yeah.
When I was in recruitment, the people come to me going, I need to get out of here. The reason number 4 was money.
So talk to us a little bit more then, Brendan. So this is where you are now. You've Ghost Consultancy. You're helping businesses, grow and develop better processes, streamline everything, and helping the sales function develop, and all great stuff. But what was Brendan Murphy like before all of this? What were you doing beforehand?
All right. Well, I started working very young. Like, I started off at 14. When you lived in Cork in the 80s, you kind of had to work. Like, so I started working in hotels and restaurants, scraping plates and doing anything that I had to do to bring money into the house. We didn't have a huge amount growing up, and I wanted to be a chef. And I started training to be a chef. I did my first, I think, 2 years, and then I realized I can't be in a room with the same people every single day. Coming in and standing at the station and people talking to you and asking you about everything. Like, oh, how did you get on yesterday? I go, oh, I have to look at you 5 days a week. Like, I need to see more people. So I moved into bar work. Loved it. Started managing bars. Moved to Belgium for a while. Managed bars over there. Came back. Managed more bars in Cork. And eventually, one of my good friends turned around to me and he says, you're wasted behind a bar. You're selling anyway. Like, I was always selling. But bar work was great because it was able to give you a huge amount of confidence, because you had that security of the bar counter in front of you. So you could talk to anybody about anything, and you learn so much about people and human nature. And that's where I first started getting sparks into, like, I like to look at humans as a group and how they behave and how they act. So I moved from there into sales into a company called Pitney Bowes. I was there for 10 years. Started off in commercial and finished up in corporate public sector. So I dealt with the Apple, Pfizer's, Department of Agriculture, out across the country with it. Then we went from a sales team of 27 down to I think it was 4, and now it's 1 or 2 left. The world changed. People stopped using paper, and we sold frank machines and folding insert machines. And I can remember looking at people going, this email thing will never catch on. You'll still have to send out invoices and statements and all that. But of course, it stopped. So I was made redundant. And the same day as my wife, I met her in the company, and it was time to pivot. And I knew a guy called David Coakley. He's a recruiter. He's in Dubai at the moment, but he said, you should get into recruitment. He says, salespeople. And I said, you train salespeople. This is natural for you. So I did. I got into recruitment with SalesNet. I was there for just over 4 years. But what started happening was I was inside in businesses. And when I was doing the recruitment, I would look at their sales process, and I'd say, and they said, would you have a look at our commission and see if that works? And I would go, well, that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. And what about over here? And what do you do in the marketing side? We don't do any marketing. We don't do any advertising. And then they would start asking me, look, will you come in and maybe train us or train our salespeople around like that? So I could do one or the other, recruitment or start again. So I decided to start again. Started Ghosts 2 years ago. I think it's 2 years ago, next week or the week after.
Brilliant.
So the offering initially was I would go in and I would help train your sales staff. I was a stand-in sales manager for companies that didn't have a sales manager, where I'd come in, maybe work 1 day a week or half a day work with your sales team and get them primed and find out where they were going and what they were doing and keep them accountable for the business. And now that has evolved into all sorts. The stuff that I do for businesses is always very exciting. It's always businesses that want to transform and they want to change. And if you sit down with a business that wants to be like that desperately wants to get better, and you have a hand in helping that, it gets really exciting. Because that's when the rubber meets the road. You can see people's brains popping and going, we could do this and we could do this. Yeah. And having things like brainstorming meetings in businesses that want to improve can be electric.
Yeah, and I think the worst thing that happens in business is this term: we've always done it that way. That is the worst thing that a business owner and anybody in senior management can say in a business, because you're literally stopping the growth of the business by saying that. Literally stopping the growth of the business.
I have clients that, I think one of the most important things that you can do in your business is you make everybody a salesperson. Mm-hmm. Everybody. Mm-hmm. If you can bring in business into us, then you get a percentage of that. Mm-hmm. And I was doing this with one client, and they had agreed that they were doing it, everybody as a salesperson. And one of the directors turned around, it was great. He says, but if we give them a percentage of this business and someone brings in this massive contract, then the cleaner could be driving a Ferrari. And I said, if the cleaner's driving a Ferrari, what are you going to be driving? And he went, oh yeah, fair point. Okay, let's do it. But it's trying to create a vision of the business and a vision for growth. I do meetings with clients in my bigger clients where there's maybe 20 plus staff. And I sit down with all of them in silos. And I just ask the question, how can we be better? How can the business improve? I don't care if it's parking or lunch break times or uniforms, but how can we as a business improve? Every point is valid. And the ideas that the staff will come up with for improving the business, to me, are incredible, but somehow feel that maybe they can't say it to their direct boss. Maybe they can't go to the owner of the business and go, here, Kenny, I was looking at what we're doing as a business, and I think we're doing it all wrong. I think if we do this, it might be a lot more profitable for us. And it's like, who are you? You're a sales guy, or you're in reception, or you're a junior marketing intern. Go away. I've been running this business 20 years, But I think the failure to stop and listen to people and what they can contribute to a business is brilliant. So if you don't do it, you could be in trouble. I think the attitude, you're right. I think the attitude, we've always done it this way. Well, look, you could go adages for the rest of your life, but if you've always done if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got.
Yeah, and I think it's human nature is human nature isn't designed that way either. Human nature is designed to evolve, and
Yeah,
I think that very much so, business owners and businesses that say that have just become a bit comfortable and just feel that they can continue on that way. Whereas if you look at what human nature actually is, it's about evolving, and businesses should evolve in line with what people are thinking, in line with technology, in line with new processes, in line with new methodologies. These have all been designed to make things better. So
yeah.
I totally think that businesses who think that way should not be thinking that way, and should reach out to people like yourself,
I
and
tell
people
you,
like us.
one of the best tools, Kenny, that I have seen in a long time
Hmm.
is Lean Six Sigma White Belt. Right?
I've heard of this.
You can do the white belt course online for free,
Hmm.
right? So a lot of people, including me, would turn around and go, anything for free is worthless. It's not. This course, I had an operations manager and a client of mine, and I made a bet with him uh, for about a single malt that I would do the course before he'd do the course.
Mm.
And he says, no, you won't. And I said, I'll pass it before you pass it. And we started, and I did. I passed it before he passed it. But Lean Six Sigma, you don't have to go through the yellow belt, green belt, black belt, super black, master black phase, right? But just even doing the first one opens your mind to Six Sigma. Like Six Sigma is very, very simple. How can we, in everything that we do here as a business, right? How can we reduce waste, right? Make savings, improve the product, and increase customer satisfaction. And when we've it done, let's go back to the start. And now, how can we reduce waste, increase customer satisfaction, and increase our profit line? How can we do this? How can we do it faster? How can we be more agile with it? But even now, especially now, like when you said, oh, we've always done it that way. With the COVID-19, everybody's sitting around now going, oh, we're destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, my business has gone to the wall. No, it's not. Not yet. It will go if you want it to go, or if you let it go. But there's something else you can do. There's something else you can offer. I was really impressed. There was a girl on LinkedIn the other day, and she was, I think, recently had just got a job in another company, and she posted herself in a Tesco's uniform,
Yes.
and she said, "This is not the job that I expected, but you know what? I'm doing that." And I was like, "That is absolute class. That is pivoting. Like, for all we know, that girl could skyrocket through Tesco's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or could get to the end of it. And there was another guy who made a comment and he said, you know what? When all this is over and it's time to try and go back out and get a job, somebody will look at the way you've handled this and went, that's class.
Yeah.
That's the type of person I want working in my company.
And again, businesses, that is the right mindset that businesses as an entity should be adopting. Okay, this is our business now, but it's not where we are. So what should we be doing differently? And again, people like yourself, Brendan, are those types of people that businesses should be speaking to investigate that. It's all about investigation. It's all about reviewing where we are now. Moving on, moving on from that, Brendan. Okay, moving on from that. Um, you've been in the sales industry, you've been in the sales game for quite a long time. Okay, I've known you, we've had great conversations, you're always full of inspiration, you're always full of little tips and hints. From a sales point of view, what are the top three challenges that you've maybe faced as a sales professional?
Well, one of the biggest challenges was, as I said, about Pitney Bowes at the time when people were moving away from paper. That was really hard in sales because you have to reinvent yourself as a company.
Okay.
Like they had to reinvent as a company and had to reinvent us as a company. But because it was a Fortune 500 behemoth company, people like we weren't being listened to. Like, you know, and sometimes I don't blame them. They pay people lots of money to come up with investigations. But you know, when you can see that, you know, the tried and tested methods, and Pitney Bowes would train you up to your eyes consistently and constantly training. But when things start changing outside your control, that's very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to bounce back from, because I think all salespeople, me included, take things very personally. You know, we take it as a slight. It's got nothing to do with, no, I don't want a three-wheel car. It's, you're a terrible salesperson.
Yep.
Because you can't sell me a three-wheel car. You know what I mean? You can't sell me whatever the product is.
There's almost an inadequacy, isn't there?
It's rejection, like, you know, it's really the product. that I don't want. It's got nothing to do with you, but we as salespeople, we take it very personally, because I would like to think that the majority of salespeople, they like what they sell. You know, they like selling whatever the product is. They believe in their product.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the biggest problems that I come across in sales consistently is, I'm talking to you because I think you could do with my product, right? I think my product will help you, and you're not picking up the phone, and you're not coming to the phone. But I really believe that, like, somebody has told me, and this has happened to me, like, in the last 2 years, dozens of times. Somebody has told me, look, even clients have told me, I have a guy that I want you to talk to. From what you're doing for us, I was talking to him. He got really excited. Here's his number. Give him a call. He's really excited. Wants to talk to you. Wants to improve his business. Wants to improve the way they do things. Give him a call. And that guy doesn't pick up the phone. And you're going, I was told that you needed my product. I was told to call you. They gave me, you wrote your own number down for me, and now you're not taking my call. That can be very frustrating in sales. But I think, you know, if you are focused on what you want to do, you're not relying on these Moby Dick deals, especially in sales. Oh, that's going to fall. If that doesn't fall, mate, you're not hitting target.
Yeah, you're screwed.
You are passing mackerel and salmon and sea trout because you want the whale, and all these other deals are falling around you, but you want the whale. And if you don't get that whale, all of these will be got by somebody else, and you'll be nowhere. You know, and then you'll be on the performance review. And it's not a performance review. You're just dogged at getting. Everybody wants the brass ring, don't they?
So would you say one of the biggest challenges then, Brendan, from a sales point of view, is sales professionals not filling their pipeline correctly, focusing on the wrong types of deals?
I think when salespeople are filling their pipeline, right, and you know, I suppose I do training on pipeline management. I've spoken to you about pipeline management on a number of occasions. I think they're not asking the right questions about the prospect that they're talking. I think they're not quantifying or qualifying what they're actually dealing with, because they could be spending all their time trying to sell this product to Kenny, when sure Kenny doesn't even make the decision. And they're ringing Kenny, and Kenny's like, oh, there's no decision made yet. Well, do you make the decision? Oh, no. Who makes the decision? Debbie. I've never even introduced to Debbie. Who's telling Debbie about the product? Oh, I gave her a brochure. After, like, you know, and not asking the right question. Not asking questions like the timeline. If you were to buy this car, when do you want it for? I want to drive it home today. That's not possible, mate. You can't drive it home today. Right, well, I'm going to go somewhere where I can drive a car home today. Okay, I can give it to you Monday, but not today. I don't know your timeline. You know, and that's why I think a lot of salespeople are sitting down with their managers, and their managers are going through saying, when is this deal going to fall? Oh, he said it'll be this month. He said that 3 months ago. I know. It's because you never asked him when he wants it installed, when he wants it in by. I think it's, look, all salespeople, when you ask them about their pipeline, say, what's in your pipeline? Like, about 400 grand. Yeah, but when you're lying in bed on your own, staring at the ceiling, what's in your pipeline then? About 120, right? So 300 grand of that is absolute rubbish. Well, and then I sit down with their sales directors. When I do this training inside in businesses, I sit down with the sales managers or sales directors, and I say, why do you make up this figure of 400 or 300 or whatever it is? And they go, because that person will go mental if I only have 80 grand in my pipeline. And I look at the director, and they're prepped beforehand, like, as I talk to them about the training, and I go, would you rather a solid 80 or an absolute rubbish 200? Give me a solid 80 any day, because I have to buy the raw materials, or I have to get the, like, if it's IT support, I have to put manpower towards that contract that's never going to happen. Tell me the truth. We can deal with the truth. If it's not enough, then we'll have a look at your commission rate. If you need more training, we'll have a look at that. But don't be telling me 400, because in my brain, right, to do that 400, I have to buy in this much steel, this much of that, to have it ready for when this customer wants it. And then if it falls, and all my money's gone into that, I couldn't put that money into marketing. So I think it's, a lot of the times when you're dealing with salespeople, especially if they're doing it a long time, they don't like change. Nobody likes change. You're dealing with companies that they hire in salespeople and they go, oh, Brendan there is rubbish. What do you mean he's rubbish? Oh, he's not hitting target. Well, why is he not hitting target? I don't know. Have you trained him? A bit.
Yeah.
Right. And does he have a manager? Yeah, but our manager is useless. Why have you a useless manager?
What?
If you read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, the first thing he would say to you is, there's no such thing as bad soldiers, there's bad captains.
Yes.
So if you have a poorly performing sales team, and you'll know this, man, if you have a poorly performing sales team, have a look at your manager first.
Yes.
I don't care if your manager's been there the longest, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a really good manager, and I'm very lucky, I had some crackers. I had some really good managers in my career that you could be inspired by, and that would mentor you and help you and get you where you wanted to go. You know, but a bad manager can be absolutely detrimental.
And this is key, because Brian, one of the key reasons why I've brought you on is because, yes, you're living in the north here, but you are from the south. Okay, you're from Cork. You've had your sales career in the south of Ireland mostly, and then you came up here to the north. Now, here in the north, we have a problem that our sales culture is broken. And yes, it is global, but here, more or less in Northern Ireland, we have the same toxic sales cultures where salespeople are brought into businesses and they're told, hit the ground running.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
not unique to the north.
but it's a common problem here because it doesn't get addressed here, whereas in other places around the world it does get addressed, and there is training and there is stringent coaching strategies put in place. But sales managers here just go, yeah, there you go, where's your list, where you go, and then
Kenny, like there's a lot of people become sales managers because they're the best salesperson.
yeah,
I hit all my targets and now I'm the manager. You're a crap manager.
yeah.
You are a brilliant sales guy.
Do you know how to coach? Do you know how to manage? Do you know methodologies? Do you know how to work people's motivations? You know,
Yeah.
there's all these aspects that come into it. So this is what I mean by toxic sales cultures. And the reason why you're on here as well, Brendan, is because you've been outside of the silo of Northern Ireland, and you've worked in different industries.
I wouldn't say the problems are unique. You know, I just think everybody looks at it in a different way.
Yes.
Right. I would have always believed, right, and I was told this years ago, and I believed it the second I was told it, right? If your sales manager is earning more than your best salesperson, you have a bad sales manager. Your best salesperson should be earning way more than your manager. Because your manager gets commission. If it's done right, your manager earns their commission off of a team, not off of one person. So the best sales guy should be earning way more than the manager. Yeah. Their commission should be through the roof, like, because they're the best salesperson. But if your manager is earning more than them, there's something that's not fitting. There's something that's not gelling. Yeah. Because when your manager is making money, he or she is making money because the team is making money. And if there's only one person on the team performing, then they should be earning more than the sales manager. If the sales manager is earning more, then there's an issue.
Yeah. So from a sales function, you have the challenge would be making sure the pipeline is healthy and full and qualified. Yeah. And also that the sales management, well, actually they are sales management. They know how to coach. They know how to manage.
Yeah.
Would you say that those would be the biggest sort of challenges that you're seeing then at the moment?
Yeah, and I think, first of all, I think a really qualified, the right pipeline, so that it's transparent across the business. Like if I'm in procurement, I should be able to see the sales pipeline. And I should be able to ask it questions to the individual. Dave, you have down here that there's 16 of these going out next week. Is that the case? Well, he hasn't got it signed yet. I'm in operations. I have to deliver these. Like, well, can you find out for me? Do you know what I mean? The sales pipeline should be transparent throughout the business. If I'm in billing or if I'm in the finance part of it, I should be able to see the sales pipeline. How much are we asking for? Why did you sell Murphy and Company 18 grand's worth of stuff when they're in the hole to us for 90 grand? Well, I didn't know. Well, why didn't you know? Because you didn't tell me. I don't know that they don't pay their bills. That's not my job. Right? So that's the first part of it. I think the pipeline needs to be seen throughout the business. It should be crystal clear.
Yep.
Okay. The other thing I would say is definitely training a sales manager. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to make your best salesperson manager. I mean, they should be rightly rewarded, but sometimes they're not the best managers, and that's easy. You can train that. That's fine. Like, but I think another arm to that is the motivation throughout the business.
Yeah.
Right. I would have said that if you have a sales team, you're running a sales team, and you're looking at your commission structure, I would be a big advocate of net new business we have never had before, massive commission. 5 or 6%, 5 or 6% definitely, right? Because that gets the salesperson motivated that their first invoice for ABC company is as big as possible. So they're naturally looking for net new business.
They're hungry.
Current business, way down, 0.5%, 1% commission, whatever it is. And if you turn around to your team and you say, you bring in new business that we've never had before, you will get paid on that net new business, because we'll have it reoccurring, but your commission will be really, really small. It's a nice way to incentivize them. However, I as a salesperson can't deliver unless I have operations behind me, unless I have marketing behind me, unless I have got billing behind me. The company should move and work as an entity. So if the sales team hit their targets, everybody should get some bit of recognition. And the good thing about it is recognition could be an extra day's holiday a year, where it's not detrimental, that the owner is not going, oh, I'm shelling out. Look, we all know businesses work on tight margins, like, but if you support your business and you support your sales team and you support everybody that touches off that sales team, there's no business works in silos, but unfortunately right now they do work in silos.
Yeah.
Marketing don't know how much sales are coming in. And then they come up with this is a fantastic idea. We're going to sell gold ones. And the sales guys are sitting there going, what? Nobody wants a gold one. Nobody wants a gold one. Yeah, but the market research shows, no. Listen, if you want to do a great marketing job, get the salespeople in to talk to you. Because they'll go, they keep asking me if we do it in this size. They keep asking me if we do it in green. They keep asking me, you've decided gold and you're going to put it on a shiny thing and it's not going to work. I am not a marketer, but I know it's not going to work. I'm in sales. I know what they want. They keep telling me what the problems are.
Yeah. But you are the eyes, and this is the thing. So there's two things there. So number one, sales management also goes hand in hand with developing the sales culture. You know, you talked there about incentivization. I had a company at one stage say, oh, listen, we don't incentivize our sales staff because that's what they're paid for. They're paid to sell. Okay, fair point. But do you know how difficult sales is? Do you know how challenging the sales job actually is? I'm a big advocate for salespeople. I'm proud to be in sales because I know sales is a tough fucking job. It's actually one of the toughest careers that you can possibly go down. And you can get paid more than a doctor by being in sales. So why not? So building a sales culture in a business is actually vitally important. And you hit on it there, Brendan, in terms of, you know, oh, should we give them a day off or should we do this? That's rewarding your sales staff and showing them that you care, as you would do with any other employee. So don't treat sales staff as you know, tools. Yeah. Don't be treating them like that. Treat them well. Treat them with respect. Because at the end of the day, when that sales guy brings in those big deals, he's paying for the research and development. He's paying for the engineering department. He's paying for himself. You know, so keep that in mind. You know, if there's any business owners listening to this now, keep that in mind because these people are the people that keep the business going, as well as other employees in the business.
I remember in recruitment, and people would ask me, you know, Brendan, how much is a good salesperson? It's free. Because a good salesperson will make you a fortune. But what you have, and it's common, and it's not unique to Northern Ireland, it's common. People have champagne tasting beer money. I want a glass of champagne, but I have got £3. You cannot get champagne for that amount of money. And you see this everywhere. There's a lot of stuff online with different groups online saying, oh, hi there, can anyone recommend a really good marketer? But what's it? It's in Northern Ireland. It's easy to pay. Give me a really good marketer that's easy to pay.
But they have to do SEO and graphic design and build a website.
A really good graphic designer. That's not, and that was, you know, I don't want that to be a telephone number. Yeah. Okay. No, that's not possible. I'm looking for a desk for my office. It needs to be mahogany and like have everything in drawers in it and like places for charge and stuff, but like cheapest chips, please.
Yeah.
And like groups like Bismarck and all this kind of stuff, not just Bismarck, but all the other ones. They
Yeah.
go, no, you can't get a fantastic marketer for nothing. Oh, I need a website built. I don't want to go on Wix. Can anyone find me to build a fantastic website for about 300 quid? I've news for you, pal. You can't. You can't build a fantastic website for 300 quid.
Yeah.
You can build a crap website for 300 quid for your nephew who is probably doing it in first year in school. That'll be 300 quid.
Yeah.
But what you fail to realize is on the far side, that website, your clients are looking at it, or your potential clients are looking at it, and they're going, that is the worst website. It doesn't open, it's slow, the buttons don't work.
Yeah.
You can't have champagne tasting beer money. You can have beer tasting beer money.
If you go to London, right? America, you go to the States, you go to London, right? Sales staff are paid fucking so well. You know, I know guys that are £150,000 a year, you know, in London, making an absolute fortune, and they're happy.
I understand what you're saying.
You know,
I understand what you're saying, but look at the cost of living in London.
But even still, 150 grand in London, that's still good. Do you know what I mean?
But if that's what salespeople want, then go to London.
Exactly, but this is what I'm saying. So pay your sales staff well in terms of look after your sales staff. If they're going to bring in the deals, pay them the money, like you've said. And it's all about building that culture and building a good sales culture. And I think this is another thing that businesses are missing the trick on. Is sales culture. You know, it's not just about this is your commission, this is a job, and that's the prospects. Go and get it. It's about, okay, let's have a round table. Let's discuss where the pitfalls are in our sales process. What are you experiencing? It's about, okay, what are you hearing on the front line? Okay, we now need to bring marketing in here. Okay, marketing, can you listen to these guys? Because they've got some vital information that can help you with a marketing campaign.
Absolutely.
So I think in terms of building and developing a sales culture, I think it's a big problem. Yes, in this country, I feel it's a big problem, but I've worked in other industries in other countries as well, and I think it's also a big problem elsewhere, but more so here because we're so siloed. And I think people like yourself, Brendan, are certainly changing that. On that note, so those are some of the challenges. What would be your 3 top tips for sales professionals to sell better?
Simple, man. Listen.
Okay.
I think ask open, emotive questions. So when I say open questions, we know who, what, where, when, how, right? So an open question so that the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you want it? No. Right? I would say ask an open question, but always follow your open question by an emotive, to elicit an emotive response, and then shut up. Just shut up. So how worried would you be if you didn't have this in time? And then you go, oh, geez, I'd be really worried because A, B, and C wouldn't get done on time, and we need this product that I'm buying from you to get in. Okay. So if I was to tell you that there's an 8-week lead time, and you told me you needed it by July, how concerned are you now that you won't have it on time? Really concerned. I didn't realize it was 8 weeks. What do I need to do? Do I need to give you a PO? What do I have to do? How worried are you that this service doesn't start until after COVID-19? I'm not worried at all. We're silent. We don't care. Mm-hmm. But you get, once you ask an open question followed by an emotive response, how worried, how concerned, how annoyed are you? What is the knock-on effect of that to your business? So open questions followed by an emotive response really gets people down to the pain point of it. How concerned are you about that? I'm not concerned about it at all. I don't ever see them. I don't care. Right?
Okay.
That would be the initiative that I would recommend for salespeople. Mm-hmm. Another one, what I would do is gain agreement on it. Mm-hmm. Gain agreement on what you're talking about. Whether you want it or not, whether it's your bag or not, take out a notebook during a sales meeting and write notes. Mm-hmm. Okay, write the notes out that the people are saying, and then when you're recapping, you can go back and go, right, we discussed at the start that you weren't happy with your current service. These are the reasons that you said you weren't happy with your current service. Is that fair? Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's why I'm not happy. So you're not going, oh, so your current providers are too expensive. I never said they're too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I said they charge us, but they don't pick up the phone when we want to talk to them. And I never said they're too expensive. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's gaining agreement as you go through the process, because that tells your potential client that you have an understanding of what they're talking about. And the third one, like for if I was giving this three, I would be I'd be find the pain.
Okay.
Find where the pain is.
And how would
You
you do
know,
that?
once you know where that pain is, then work together to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not coming in with a solution. Oh well, you need the XJ21. Well, I have the internet, and I know that the XJ21. I knew you were going to say that because the XJ21 is way too big for what we want, and you're only looking after your commission. What we really need is the XR3.
Yeah.
Your clients have the internet, man. They know probably more about your products than you do.
Mm-hmm.
All you are in sales these days is you're a facilitator to get the customer service and the customer experience right.
Yeah.
And you want to be trusted, and you want them to go, you're the type of fella that I want to do business with, or you're the type of girl that I want to do business with, because you're aware of what my problems are. You've come up with a solution that you don't have to fix all the problems. Like 90% of the problems will do. People are happy with that.
Yeah.
And say, look, we can do this in the time that you want to do it, in the budget. We're so afraid in sales of asking about a budget. Do you have a budget for this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, how much does it cost? Well, I don't know what the solution is yet, but like right now, you're starting at 10 grand. I don't have 10 grand. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I do this in the sales talks that I give and in the business talks that I give. And I think I did it with you before, like asking people, when does a sale happen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did I do this with you before?
Yeah.
When a sale happens?
Mm-hmm.
And a sale happens this very second, and it's not about when the invoice is sent out or when the money's in the till. It's universal, right? When the value of the product or service exceeds the monetary value in the eyes of the customer, that's when a sale happens.
Yep.
So you want 150 grand, yeah, for a Ferrari, yeah, but it's I don't know anything about cars, Testarossa, I don't know. It's like an Enzo, yeah. Yeah, that's worth it. I'll have it.
Yeah. It's the car that I want. It's
Yeah.
what I want.
So what you're telling me, shop that's not too far away from me.
Uh-huh.
2 weeks ago, you were charging £8 for 4 rolls of toilet paper. I am never coming into your shop again.
Yeah.
Never. Because you're not listening to me, the customer. Everybody's worried, everybody's panicking, and you try to put the arm in, and I'm never coming in. I'll walk to another shop rather than drive into your shop.
And I think, you know,
understanding your customer.
That's important, Brendan, what you've just said there, in terms of it brings out another tip that I would add in there. And it is that remember that people are people.
Yeah.
They have emotions, they have needs, they have wants, they have requirements. And it goes back to that, the pain. So they have a pain that they need resolved.
Yeah.
And that then becomes their requirement, their want, their need. And how are you going to do that as a sales professional? So don't forget, you know, I would say those are some excellent tips there, Brendan. Really, really good tips.
The thing about it is too, Kenny, is, and this is what I think salespeople forget, people remember. You can remember, like we remember pain. We remember physical pain. We remember emotional pain. You can remember probably burning your fingers on a pot when you were a kid. You can recount it like lightning fast. If you've ever broken a bone, like I broke a lot of ribs growing up, mucking about, right? Can you remember the first rib you broke? Yeah. I can remember the second, because the second one reminded me, yeah, that's another rib. Remember the pain. They remember emotional pain. Can you remember the first time your heart was broken? Yeah, I do. Can you remember the first time? Can you remember a time that this sales guy swindled you? When he signed you up for a deal that you didn't really need, and you were paying a lot more than you thought you were because he did some jiggery pokery on the paperwork. Yeah. And I've told everyone I know about him. And if you think in a place like Northern Ireland that in sales, you're not going to walk into a room and be face to face with someone that you've done a bad deal. Salespeople have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And we're always seen as flipping shysters, aren't we?
Yes.
We're
Yes.
always seen as the ones who are trying to get the arm in. We're always seen as the ones who are trying to, a lot of that, Kenny, is not the salesperson's fault. A lot of that is the manager's fault or the director's fault or the business that they work for fault. And if you don't close a deal today, I don't care how you do it, you're gone. And that sales guy has a mortgage, the same as you have a mortgage or I have a mortgage, and he's got a car and he's got a partner or a wife or a husband and whatever it is like. They have responsibilities. And sometimes they're painted into a corner where by hook or by crook they have to get a deal or their livelihood is fair. And that's not fair. It is fair if I've trained the life out of you. If I put you through all the training programs and I've given you everything and I've given you every tool and you're still not closing, then why? What have you done here? Like, what's going on? I noticed that you hit target January, February, March. Here's the thing. I'm looking at the stats for the year as a salesman. And I've seen Kenny has hit target January, February, March, April, and May. June, Kenny dips. July, Kenny dips. Sales managers don't come over and go, here, listen, mate, do you need some time off? Is there something personal happening? Because if there is, how can I help you? How can I help you? Just tell me. Even if it's a personal thing, you don't want to tell me what it's about, but can I give you some extra days off? Like, not holiday days, but just compassionate leave. Like, there's something going on in your life because you're after hitting target. Now you've dipped twice on the bounce. What can I do to help you? Oh, look, such and such is after happening. This is after happening. I can't. My head's not in the game. Okay, mate. Look, take a couple of days off. Right? Get your head together and come back to me with a list on how I can help you. Said no sales manager ever.
Correct.
You get dragged over the coals. You get put on performance. What do they call it?
Performance improvement plans, PIPs.
Yeah.
Or PDPs, personal development plans.
Based on your target. You're not based on your emotional intelligence. You're not based on your ability to sell. But I can't sell. I know you can. But you didn't bring in your target, so we're going to sack you.
And that is the worst thing. That's counterproductive.
I think salespeople have a big responsibility. And I think that businesses have, like we all have responsibility for each other. If nothing, COVID-19 has taught us this. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you drive a Bentley 4x4, mate, because you can't take it out of your drive because you've nowhere to go. So it doesn't matter. Let's get to business. Let's look at our sales teams. How can we improve them? How can we help them now? I did a sales training last week for 15 salespeople, all in little screens around my screen, and I did it from here. Now it wasn't perfect because normally I'm in a room and I'm shouting at people and attacking them and having a bit of crack with them, but it worked because this guy came to me and he says, "Look, I'd like to use this time. They're furloughed, but I want to invest in them, like." So they don't all have to come online. I can't send them the email because they're furloughed. So give me the email address. I'll send them. I said, this is what the company wants to do for you. There is no obligation to come on. Would you like to come on? And they come on because what they're doing, sit at home.
Exactly.
I don't know anybody ever who turned around to me and said, I really don't want to improve. I'm pretty much okay the way I am. I don't need to get better. I don't need to hear new tips. I don't need to ask questions with a lot. That's why I like what you do with Sales 7. We have got a load of salespeople from a load of different industries, and they're all talking. I go, what's your most common problem? I think one of the easiest tools that any business could use, any business, is any internal incoming sales call, let a salesperson answer it. Or B, let the sales director answer it. Because the salesperson will listen and they'll be able to get trained by the person they're talking to. How did this person open the sale? How did they interact with me? How did they talk to me about the product? Did I want to buy it? Do I think it's a good idea for our business? And if I think it's a good idea, I should be listening to her go, I'm just going to forward you there to the sales director or to the MD and go, there's a guy on the phone here, he's talking about a product. I think it'd be fantastic for us. Straight through. How many times have you made a phone call? Oh yeah, I'll just see if he's there. He's in a meeting. No, he's not. He just stepped out. No, I didn't. You know, she said she'll call you back. No, she won't. Tell me the truth. I'm okay. I'm a big boy, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's very sad that sales directors and sales managers look at their teams and say, make business development calls, make cold calling, make business development calls, ring out. And a phone call comes in and says, yeah, here, Kenny, there's a guy who wants to talk to you about a new software product. Forget it. I'm not listening to a sales call. You won't listen to it, but you'll get all your people to ring out.
Correct.
And then you
Yes.
give out to them when people don't listen.
Yeah. So
There's no balance.
on that note, Brendan, on that note, what would you change about how people sell? What do you think would be the one key thing that you could think of now that you would change about how people are selling?
I would concentrate on the solution and not the product.
Okay. So elaborate on that a bit more.
Sell the product. Sell the solution.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a bit more. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so with everybody furloughed and social distancing, right? Mm-hmm. Where I live, I can see fences being painted left, right, and center. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I take that, use that as an analogy. I want a fence that is grey. Don't sell me the paint. Send me a grey fence. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is the brush you need, and this is the paint, and the end result to me is a grey fence. How do I get to a grey fence as easy as possible? I'm not great at painting. I've never really done it. I want to know, sell me the solution. Don't sell me the products that are going to do it. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I had the joy of training a guy who sold cars, right? Again, another industry who are just dragged over the coals, right? Mm-hmm. And he was saying, I always get into the sale and I kind of lose it. Like, I don't know how I'm closing or I said, because you're selling the product, you're not selling the solution. So we changed the way he did things, right? So if you walked in, the first thing he would come over and say, hi, how you doing? I'm Kenny. And he says, right, before we start, do you have kids? Yeah. How many? 3. Move away from the small 2-seater cars. You don't want one. Yeah, probably right, yeah. Okay. Do your kids have friends that kind of regularly come with you? Yeah, I suppose football matches and things like that, right? So we're probably talking a 7-seater because it's either 5 and nobody else in your car. Do you need the option to be able to bring extra people? Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Okay. Have you any pets? I have. What have you got? I have a St. Bernard. Okay. And do you take this St. Bernard walking? Yeah. So you need a car that will take a St. Bernard? Yeah. Okay. Do you mind, does it have to be a new car? No. I have no intentions of getting a new car. Okay. So we need a big car, probably 7-seater, to take a St. Bernard. Yeah. Have you a loyalty to any brand at all? I don't mind Ford. I don't mind BMW. Right. If you're talking BMW, you're talking probably an X5 extension yoke, but a Ford Galaxy would probably take it. Come on outside and I'll show you the Galaxies we have. Do you prefer a color? Color doesn't matter a jot. Good, we have a red one and a blue one. That is selling the solution. It's not selling the product. Whereas other people that were walking into their forecourt was like, hey, why don't you go over and see the 5 Series? Yeah. It's like, I'm not getting. There's a guy I know, I think you know him too, Frank Given.
Yep.
Frank has a beautiful BMW sports car and a Great Dane. I remember turning out to Frank saying, how do you get that Great Dane into that car? And he said, with great difficulty. But there's always one that will have a really pretty sports car and a massive, massive dog. But the solution for this guy is, the solution for the guy in the car is, I have 3 kids and my wife and a St. Bernard. I'm probably going to need a roof box because we like to go camping. If you find out more about the person, then you're giving them a car. You know what I mean? Then I'm giving you the car. That's a solution for you. I could have been talking to you for 4 hours about an X5 or a Merc or a Ferrari. You're never buying it because me as a salesperson didn't listen or didn't ask the right questions. So this sales guy changed his tack, right? He sold less brand new cars than he would have traditionally sold, but overall his figures went up by 20% in the first 2 months. because he started on solution sales. How can I help you? What did you drive in? I drove in a Mondeo. All right. What is it about the Mondeo that didn't suit you that you're here? It's old. All right. So you like Mondeos? Love them. So you just want a new Mondeo? Yeah. I just wanted to see the new one. I know the new one is out. I want to take. Do you want to take it for a spin? Yeah. Come on. Done. Did you ever think of maybe going to, Vauxhall or going to, Audi or no. I'm happy with there. That's what I want. It's just listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
I would. I think fundamentally where sales is changing, or where it needs to change. Sorry, where it needs to change. It's about selling the solution to somebody.
Perfect. And I think, Brendan, there's lots. This episode here. There's tons and tons of information for salespeople. And I think a lot of guys will probably want to reach out to you potentially. So in terms of where they can find you, Brendan, tell people a little bit more about the people that you're looking to speak to and where people can find you.
Right. The kind of people that I like to talk to is, well, I offer a few different things, right? I like to work with businesses that want to improve. This is always, I suppose, the core of my business is talking to businesses. I don't like to go very, very big. I don't want to go like over 100 staff, for the reason that there are so many barriers of changing the business. Nothing gets done. Yep. Because there's directors and sub-directors and line managers, and you don't get effective because I need to talk to the owner of the business. Once I have their buy-in, that's grand. So traditionally anything from 20, 30 staff down to 10, 11, perfect. But the key thing for me is they have to want to improve.
Yep.
This isn't like when I go in and I help businesses, it's not a box ticking exercise. Oh, didn't we get you into coaching? You're still useless. Mm-hmm. It's not going to work, right? The traditional life cycle of me with a client is about 6 to 8 months. That when I get in and we form changes, when it gets about 6 to 8 months, it's kind of like, there's no need for me to be here anymore. My business is based on, from the minute that I get in, I'm working to get out. Right? And then what I also offer is I offer one-to-one coaching. Okay. So I work with a lot of business owners that just use me themselves, that go, look, I want to improve my lot in life. And it's always a positive thing. It's rarely about, I want to make the business better. It's, how can I improve here in the business so I can spend more time with the kids? I've been working flat out for 15 years getting this business off the ground. I barely know my husband and my kids anymore. I would like to get some more time with him. So what can I put in place here? What are the steps that we need to take that I can finish at 2 on a Friday? Because right now, that's enough for me. I finish at 2 on a Friday because I don't leave here until 8 o'clock every night. Okay. I have a couple of clients where I work with them one-on-one where they're salespeople and they just want to improve. And they're just going, look, I'm looking at my market. I know the other salespeople in my company we're all looking in the same places for the same stuff. I want to transcend and get a lot more strategic in what I'm doing. So, if you're saying, and very kind of you to say that people will want to talk and ask me questions, a phone call is free. Like that's no problem. So you can go onto my website, which is www.goalsconsultancy.com. All my contact details are on there. Pick up the phone. I have it on the website. Like there's no such thing as a stupid question. And sometimes when you get the first question out and we start talking, it's very, very quickly, well, I know if I can work with you. Yep. Or if you can work with me. Because I'm lucky enough, Ken, I don't need to work inside businesses that I don't like. Yep. And I suit some people where they like my attitude, where I go in and go, I don't understand why you didn't do this for your business. I don't get why you're not doing this part. We need to ramp this up now. You need to, you need to fill out the bits that I told you to fill out so we can work on your marketing plan. It doesn't suit everybody. Yep. And radical change doesn't suit everybody. We all fear change. The kind of people that they all have something in common. I said this on the outset, like they all want to be better. Yep. But all of them, and to a woman that I work with, I can't do what they can do. No. And that I always keep at the back of my mind. I'm not an engineer. I can't build websites. I can't do, because of the very nature of my business, I can't talk about my clients specifically. But, I'm not an architect. I can't build and design websites. I can't. You can. You're brilliant at it, But if you want to get a website built, get someone who builds websites. If you want a house built, get a builder. If you want to make improvements inside in your business, to realize the success that you wanted the business to be when you first started thinking about it, get a coach. Doesn't always have to be me.
Yep, 100%.
There are other people out there that do jobs. I just do it different.
And again, this is a thing, and again, it's very, very big in the sales industry, asking for help. There is literally nothing wrong with asking for help. I mean, Brendan, we've met a few times. You've given me some sound advice. At one stage, we tried to work together. It just never came off because I was on a different path. You were on a different path. We wiped the slate clean, and that was it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with collaborating, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And that's the whole purpose of this series is we are here to help you. The people I bring on to this series is here to help you. So don't be afraid to ask us for help. Brendan, listen, thank you very, very much for joining us today. It's been very, very insightful. And I appreciate your time, mate. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks very much, Brendan. Cheers. Bye.